First of all, before I start, I'd like to know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, can you just put the fire emoji in the chat? Well, I'm doing a two-in-one stuff, at least one to motivate me, two to know you are there actually and you're with me. If you are there, put the fire emoji in the chat box, please. Yes, that's what I want to see. Exactly. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is the best time to actually put this training. As we all know, in the few hours from now, or should I say, yeah, few hours from now, the business will be starting. The business of the week will be starting. I'd like to ask us here, if you met most of your targets, I mean, your 5% daily targets for last week business days, or trading days, can I see you put a two in the chat box? If you met your 5% daily target at least 3 times in that last week, I mean, let me see a two in the chat box. Let me see a two in the chat box. If any one of you here right now as we speak meet at least 3 times your 5% daily target. Oh yeah, at least we have one person. That's fantastic. Just one person. Yeah, that's a lot of work to do. So we only have one person, right? I mean, none of you met your target. Okay, I said 3 times, right? If you met it 2 times last week, can I see a two in the chat box? See, now I'm lowering the standard for that matter. 2 times. Okay, meaning you met it at least 2 days out of the 5 days. Okay, anybody who met it once out of the 5 days? You met your target once out of the 5 business days. I know some of you don't trade on Friday, so some of you maybe 4 days, but at least we met it once. Can I see it in the chat? Okay, but sorry guys, I don't want to sound mean, but I'd like to tell you this. The question is, if you're in the academy and you're not trading or meeting up your 5% at least 3 times a week, what exactly are you doing in the academy? No, that's the truth, because we have to tell ourselves the truth. It's just like you being in a football match. I mean, being on the field and you're not scoring goals. You know what they do to such players? They bench them. I mean, imagine a football field without a goal post. No one will watch because it's going to be boring. Know how to trade or track success rates. So if you are in the academy and you are not bothered about making your daily trading or daily target, I mean, yes, I'm not saying all day. I mean, you may not even meet it every day because that's part of the discipline plan. Meaning, sometimes you may have lessons, but the moment your lessons get to 5%, you stop trading, right? But we're talking about days where, when the days are good, you know. So tonight we're going to be teaching what you already been known. Of course, you've been learning this for a while. A lot of the coaches are taking you on this one. They've done great jobs on this. So it's just like, as we said, that repetition is the key to mastership. You understand? That's why we keep on doing the same thing over and over again until you get it. But but mind you, mind you, I always say this and I like to say it again and again and again and again. The journey is actually quite interesting, exciting, assuring, effective, but far from where we are right now. Are we together? Far from where we are right now. You understand? So the reason I'm saying this is, if we keep stalling, if we don't learn on time, if we don't catch up, we will delay ourselves. I mean, the time you're supposed to be at a particular level, you understand? Make yourself at a particular level and do it. You understand? Those that journey may be delayed if we keep slowing down and catching up when it comes to learning. You understand? I'll give you an instance. So for me, I have my timetable and I have what do you call prosperity plan, and I have the learning curve. You understand? Now the learning curve that I prepare is for my anybody I bring in the academy, my learning curve is, first of all, after learning the basics, watching the videos in the academy and all that, the next thing is I teach them the strategy which we use depending, of course. I always start there with TBX, right? Now, the strategy is what you learn, which is the market trap. Now, as soon as you master the strategy, because the truth is this, the market trap, which is a strategy, is a very powerful sweet plan or strategy for a newbie, and it's easy to catch up because the matter of you recognizing indicators and knowing when to take trades is as simple as that. So I always start them on that. I mean, I don't like to start you on too many complicated stuff. So as soon as I see you master that and you know how to take trades easily with the market trap, then I'll upgrade you to the technicals, which is what I'm about to teach tonight, which is what you've learned some time ago, from some of our coaches, right? Now, you know why? Because um, there are times when you take when you use the market trap strategy. If you know the technicals, it gives you a deeper vision. It gives you a deeper vision. It gives you a deeper understanding. You see things even clearer. The combination of the two allows you to take some trades that you would have been able to take if you were using the market trap alone, and also the trade that you would have been able to take if you were using technicals alone. Do you get what I'm saying? But do you know what? Apart from that, the next level again is learning price action on its own. Now, when you know price actions added to the technicals and the what's it called, and the strategy, it also gives you another edge because it lets you draw lines, new lines. I mean, you can be on the particular pair after taking some trades that you've cleared, and then with the new creation of with the creation of new candles, you can quickly draw some lines that will still give you the next level of clears. I mean, on a particular pair. See, trading and learning how to trade is in stages. You understand? But the more you catch up, the faster you catch up, then the best it is for you to move to the next level. But if you keep staying stagnant in the same position, you're not making effort and all that, or you're getting tired easily, you're not appearing on sessions, you're not watching videos, then it's going to be very boring for you. And let me tell you, people are actually making money. A lot of people are making money. Last week, a lot of people made so much just with the combination of the technicals and the market trap strategy. You understand? I would not lie to you. Actually, of course, it starts with me, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to be teaching things, you have to use them for yourself, isn't it? So it starts with me. So, and I have a lot of people who are using it also that are making a lot of money. So we need to take these things seriously. Okay, we need to take it seriously. Okay, if you don't understand, you ask questions. After the session, you can always ask coaches questions and all that. So you pay attention. Then another way to learn this is having your jotter and your pen. So you take down the important notes whenever we say them. You understand? So that's it. So tonight we're gonna start right now. Normally I would have loved someone to probably share their screen, but let me just do it here, okay? Uh, okay. So right now the market is still warming up, so probably not opened. We'll try and see if let me check 1 minute. I'll be using Trading View. Now for me, I like to. I mean, it is good when you do your analysis on Trading View. It is always good. Yeah. And the reason is this, just one simple reason. The reason is on Trading View, you can always have your analysis, on your Trading View, staying there, even if when you refresh, sometimes even when you log out and come back, you still have them there. So you don't have to keep drawing the lines again. Okay. But then sometimes for me, I draw them on the strategy. And the reason I use that is sometimes I'm quick, like I just want to be in and out to make my 5% and out. So I don't leave that particular what's it called? The particular page. All I can navigate and come back to it, But there's a way I refresh such that it won't take out all the lines. But in case you are logged out, you will lose all of them. So that's why it's good to use Trading View anyways. You get. So right now the market is not open. Okay. I'm trying to see even if you can see a BTC. Of course, BTC is always open. So let me see if you can use BTC USD. Okay, we use BTC USD to explain this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. But But before I share my screen, sorry, I like to do the basics. Okay, let me start the basics. Let me share my whiteboard. It's very important we learn this. Okay. Though I expect everybody to know this because there was a time we sent the candlestick Bible to the group. At least from that you can understand what the candlestick is and all that. Okay. So, but still, I'll just do this so at least you can have an understanding when we get there. All right, quickly, guys. So if you can see my whiteboard, let me put something on it so you know. Can you see? If you can see my whiteboard, can you put the one in the chat box, please? You can see my whiteboard. Put the one in the chat box. All right, you can see the. All right, good. All right. So, guys, now there's what we call candle or candlestick. All right, thank you. There's what we call candlestick. Now, candlestick are these things. These are the things you see. Like I'll call them. They are just like structure you see in the market. So as you can see, the green and the red, the green and the red. All these structures, I call them pointers or storytellers. They tell you the story of the market. Okay. Now, what do they represent actually? They represent the interval. I mean, the timing or the interval, the trading, the transaction intervals in the market. That's the right word. Transaction interval. So, for example, we all know when we say USD JPY, what do we mean? We are talking about the transactions that happens between United States and Japan. Why do we say that? Because of course we know that USD is spent in the US, while JPY, which is Japanese yen, Japanese yen is spent in Japan, right? So when we say USD JPY, we want to analyze the current transaction that is happening between United States of America, United States of America and Japan using their currencies. We want to check which of them is having more strength when it comes to their currencies right now. When we say right now is a relative term. We all know that. Now, right now could be, right this minute, which means 1 minute. Right now could be the next 5 minutes. Right now could be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 1 day. Let's check the daily transactions that happens between United States and Japanese. Okay, let's check 4-hour transaction, which means within 4 hours, what has happened between these two countries? Their currencies. What has happened? What are the shifts that are happening between the two of them? You understand? Now, how do we now know the time? What do we represent with the time? That is where the candle comes in. So when we say candlestick, the candlestick represents the transaction interval. Now, you as a trader, you want to trade either of this currency. You either want to buy or you want to sell. Okay? But how will you know which one is to buy or which one is to sell? Now, you first of all determine how far do you want to go? What interval of transactions are you looking at? Because at different intervals, there may be change in strength, there may be change in in the economic situation, which will of course invariably give the change to the currency strength. You understand? And you know how we trade now. Whenever we have a strong currency and we have a weak currency, if the major currency, which is the first currency, is low, remember, right? When the first currency is low, what happens? We call it downtrend. Let me use red line for that. That's the simple rule. The simple rule is when you're trading two currencies, which makes a pair, right? If the first currency is low, we call it what? We call it a downtrend. I know so many of you know this. So, but for those who don't know it, they are still within among us. So we don't want to leave them behind. Okay. When the first currency is low, weaker than the second currency, we call it a downtrend. But when the first currency is stronger than the first currency, we call it an uptrend. Do you get? Now, how do we know if USD JPY, you understand, is uptrend or downtrend? First, we have to determine in what interval are we looking at. Now, that interval is represented in candles. So that's where the candle comes in. The candlestick. So let's look at the candlestick. How does it look? We have two types of candlestick. Okay. So now, depending on so the color representation depends on which word that appeals to you. Some use red and blue. Some use red and green. Okay. In fact, some use black and white. But Sorry, but the most commonly used is black and blue, red and blue. So we're going to be using the red and blue now. So when we say candlestick represents time intervals. Each candlestick represents time interval. Now, in these intervals, it tells us whether the first currency is going down or it's going up. Remember, when the first currency is weaker, they call such market a downtrend, which means a market that is going down, a selling market. When the first currency is stronger, we call such currency what? An uptrend, which means the currency is going up. So how do we now know? Let's say we want to trade as a trader now, you want to trade and you are trading based on 5 minutes. You want to do a 5 minute interval trade. 5 minute interval trade. 5 minutes. Now, this 5 minutes is called time frame. What did I call it? Time frame. So, what are you saying in essence? You are saying that I want to know which currency to invest in or which direction to invest in between USD or JPY within the 5 minutes transactions. You understand? I want to know within that interval. So now this time, 5 minutes, is represented in candle. So if you see the first type of candle, let's talk about the first type of candle. If you see a blue candle, now don't worry, forgive my drawing, just accept it. This is a blue candle, okay, shaded like this. If you see a blue candle, what does that mean? That means this candle is saying that for this candle, first of all, represents 5 minutes. This candle means 5 minutes. It means from the beginning to the end of this candle is 5 minutes. And it's saying that in that 5 minutes, the USD, let's say the currency is USD JPY. Saying that USD, remember, is the first currency you focus on, right? I said when the first currency is what? Is weak, is a downtrend. When the first currency is strong, is an uptrend. So if you see blue candle, it's telling you that within these 5 minutes, the USD is stronger. Within these 5 minutes. Okay, that's the first type of candle. The second type of candle is the red candle. When you see a red candle, that's represent another 5 minutes. So it's saying that within these 5 minutes now, right now as we speak, USD is what? Is experiencing a weak strength, which is downtrend. You get, I mean, a weak strength, sorry, a weak strength. Hope you understand that. So these are the type of candles that we are. So this candle represents the time and also tells you, so I tell you that I said the candle tells you a story, right? It tells you the time and also tells you what is happening within that time frame. So right now, for this one, within 5 minutes, the USD is growing. With this one, within 5 minutes, the USD is falling. So with that, you know what is going on without anybody telling you. So sometimes when we see a forex trader, we look at the chart and say, oh, it's going down. You're like, how did you know? You didn't see anybody writing down, but with the candle, you know already. So that's how to know. Now, the next thing you need to know about this candle is this. Sorry, I'm taking you in the kindergarten way, but that's how to understand. So I won't have a problem with what I want to teach you tonight. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to know about the candle is this. For a blue candle, which is up, a candle that talks about the strength, a strong strength. I mean, when the USD is strong, which is a candle that is going up. Now, what do you notice in a blue candle? I'm going to use the black pen now. Now, a blue candle always starts from the bottom. I mean, it opens. We call it open. The beginning of a session of 5 minute session for a blue candle for, I mean, if the USD is stronger now and it's starting from the bottom, so this place becomes open. O. Can you see? O, letter O. And then it ends at the top. Close, letter C. So every blue candle always open from the bottom. I mean, they start from the bottom and then they close at the top. At the top, you understand? Then, ironically, for a red candle, they start from the top. The red candle starts from the top and closes at the bottom. Yes, it represents the base because the base currency, yes, that's the base currency is what matters. Yeah. So because the general rule of a candle is, or the general rule of a trend is, if the first currency is weak, it's called a downtrend. If the first currency is stronger, then it becomes an uptrend. So it's the first currency that determines the movement, I mean, the direction of the market. Do you get? That's why we call it base currency, hold currency. In fact, if you look at the word base currency, hold currency, do you know what it means? Sometimes when you see USD JPY and you see the price, you see some those prices you see in your chart or that you see in your chart, those prices are telling you the price of USD in Japanese yen. So just like saying how much is USD to Naira. If USD is 700 Naira, if there's going to be a chart, I mean, a pair like USD versus Naira, which I don't think that's like future impossible things, like USD Naira in the market, you understand? You'll be seeing representation of USD in Naira form. So you'll be seeing 700 Naira something. You'll be seeing the amount of USD. You'll be seeing the amount of USD in Naira. So that is why whatever happens here is determined by the first currency. I hope I answered the question. So the red candles open at the top and closes at the bottom, while the blue candle opens at the bottom, closes at the top. Why am I telling you this? I'll tell you now. Now, also talking about open and close, there's something we call high and low. High and low. Now that high and low is represented differently. And what does high and low mean? High and low simply talks about within 5 minutes. Remember, this candle represents 5 minutes. So it means the candle starts from the bottom at 0 minutes and ended at the top and closed at the top. That's the blue candle now, at exactly 5 minutes. It means the time controls the candle. Wherever the time elapses or expires is where the candle will stop. Even if the candle is halfway and the time stops at that halfway, it will stop there. Do you understand? Same thing goes for the red. So it's like a countdown, like a stop. What do you call it now? A timer. What you call a stop timer, what do you call it? Whereby the time will start counting down. As soon as it stops, whatever it stops, that's where everything stops. Okay. So now, but sometimes, let me tell you the journey of the candle. Let's talk about the blue candle. Let's say this blue candle started at the bottom. See my course. Can you see what I'm doing now? Started from here, and then it took off and went so high. Within that 5 minutes, it went so high. And after going so high, started coming down again. It went so high like this. Can you see it now? And then started coming down. As it was coming down, the 5 minutes now stopped at this point. Can you see it? It started at this point. It went so high above this point, and then it was coming down again within that 5.5 minutes. That's what happens. Things will go up and down. While it was coming down, and then the 5 minutes clicks in, and then it stops. Of course, the timer stops. The moment it's 5 minutes, stops here. Now, the candle will register that the closing of the candle is here, this particular point. The opening of the candle is this particular point. But the eye of the candle is this one, which means the candle actually got to this place, but did not close there. So because it didn't close there, it is represented with a thin line, which we call the wick, candle wick. So when you see a wick, it tells you a journey. What does it tell you? As a trader, you know that, oh, this candle actually went as high as this, but did not close here, came down to close here. Do you get what I'm saying now? Or sometimes it may be the other way around. The candle may open here and started going down, which is low. And then later on, retraces up and goes so high and closes here. Do you get what I'm saying now? Such candle will register that the closing of the candle was here, the opening was here, but the low, they will call this one low. It went this low before started going high. So this one is represented in wick. So any direction a candle goes, but does not close at that direction, becomes a wick. A wick. Wick of a candle. W-I-C-K. I hope you are getting it. Okay? So now, those are the tiny, tiny lines you see when you are trading sometimes. Okay? Becomes a wick of a candle. Same thing goes for the downtrend, the red candle. You understand? The red candle can open. Remember, it opens at the top. Oh, sorry, what have I done? Sorry, I cleaned it off. Okay, I can just undo now. All right. So the red candle started at the top. Okay, may go down so low, then later come up again and close here. So when it closes here, what happens? this place that it has been to without closing there becomes a wick. So anywhere you see a tiny line, that is what we call a wick of a candle. The wick represents a journey that was traveled by the candle but never closes there. So whenever you see a wick, if the wick is at the bottom, they wrote low, L. Is at the top, they wrote H, I, which means it went this high, it went this low. Okay? So that's why in some of the charts, maybe trading view, you see OCHL. O means the candle opened at social price, it closed at social price, but it went high at this price and it went low at this price. All those informations are useful when you are trading, and I'll show you how useful they are. Now, if you understand the candle, please can you put a 5 in the chat box? If you understand what I just explained to you, can you put a chat in the chat box? A 5 in the chat box, please. 5, please. Let's do this as quick as possible. All right, good. I'm happy you all understand. So thank God my efforts is not wasted. All right, let's go to the next stage now. The next stage. So I'm cleaning this off, okay? I'm cleaning off this one. The next thing I want to talk about now is support and resistance. Support and resistance. Support and resistance, okay? So what is the support and resistance? Looking at the name. When you say support, another name for support is, let me write it down. Let's say support. Okay, let me start with support. Support. Of course, forgive my writing. You know what we know that it's not easy. I'm using my finger, right? Now, support, another name for this support is the floor. The floor. We have resistance. Resistance. Okay, another name for this one is the ceiling. The ceiling. We all know what a ceiling is. Now, a ceiling stops, like, okay, let me give you an instance. When you build a house and you have a ceiling, the ceiling is to demarcate, to tell you that this is the limit the house can go. So the apartment, the height of that apartment is determined by the ceiling. So they say how high is the apartment, the inside of the apartment is as high as the ceiling, which means it can't go beyond the ceiling. So the work of the ceiling is to resist growth. So which means the ceiling is to stop, this is the ceiling now, look at it, is to stop movement from going further up. That's why they call it resistance. Resist means stop, right? Support. Support is the floor. Now, what is the work of the floor? The floor is to support your movement so you can have something to work on, right? So what does support do? Support helps you to go up. Sorry. Support helps you to go up, while resistance stop you from going up, rather send you down. Okay? Resistance, when you hit the resistance, you turn back and start coming down. When you hit the support, you turn back and start going up. Now, for those of you who know about jumping, if you want to jump, what do you do when you want to jump? You stand on the floor, you squat a bit to gather strength from the floor, and then you hop on the leg, you hop on the front, that base, as in you hop on the support of the floor. Isn't it? If there's no floor, you won't be able to hop, to jump up. Say jump up. If there was no floor, you won't be able to do that, right? So the work of the support is to make you go up, while the work of the ceiling, which is the resistance, is to make it's to stop you from going up. Now, that's the support. So anytime you see resistance in red in the market, it stops the price of the market from going up. So the main work of that resistance is as soon as the market, so remember I told you we have two candles. So this is a blue candle. Let me use just a line now. This is a blue candle. So this blue candle will be going up. As it's going up, the moment it touches this resistance, what happens? The resistance turns the blue candle to a red candle and send it back down. Send it back down. And it keeps coming down. And when it touches this green one, what happens? The green one turns it to a blue candle again. Turn it back to a blue candle and send it back up. That's just what happens in the market with resistance and support. If you understand that, can I see it? A 7 in the chat box? 7 in the chat box if you understand resistance and support as ceiling and floor. 7 in the chat box. Because I'm going to the next one now. Break and retest. Okay, if you understand ceiling and floor, put a 7 in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now we're going to the next one. Break and retest. Break and retest. What is the meaning of break and retest? Now, remember, I've talked about the candle, the wick. I've talked about the support and resistance. Now, let's talk about break and retest. Break and retest is the name given to a scenario that happened in the market, either on the journey, on the way up, or on the way down. Meaning, either when the price is on its way up or on its way down. Break and retest, is the scenario, is the system with which the prices of the market go up or down. So anytime they're going up, they use break and retest. Anytime they're coming down, they use break and retest. So what is this break and retest? I will explain. So this is how it works. So let's say this is a candle. A blue candle is starting on an upward trend. Okay, this market is supposed to be going up, right? So remember, upward trend. If a candle is going up, it's a blue, right? As this candle is trying to go up, on its way up, remember I told you about support and resistance, right? So I represent the support with green. Okay. So which means for this blue candle to be a blue candle to go up, it has touched a support. The support has pushed it. Oh yeah, start going up. Hey brother, start going up now. So the support sent this guy on the way up. So on the way up, you're not seeing it. Seriously, I'm sharing my whiteboard. If you're not seeing this, can I see you put a 1 in the chat box? If you're not seeing what I'm showing you, I want to be sure if it's just Nzube Diamond that is, or Desmond that is not seeing this. Is there another person who's not seeing what I'm drawing? Okay, can you see it? Aha. Uh-huh. You said I should continue. I have to be sure you are seeing it before I continue. Right. All right. So, guys, the candle is on its way up. Remember, the concept is a blue candle when it's on its way up. And for it to go up, it needs a support, which is what? The floor. The green guy will support it to let it go up. Now, the green guy has given it a boost to go up, but there's a red guy waiting for it at the top, which is the ceiling. The red guy stays here. And what does the red guy do? What does the red guy do? The red guy says, hey, you cannot go up. Okay? You cannot go up. Okay? Now, when the red guy says you cannot go up, what happens? What do you think happens? Then the red guy, this red guy here, send it back down as a red candle. Now, do you know what happened? I'm telling you a story now. I want you to look at this. This is what happens in the market. Now, this guy, remember, left the house as a blue with the support of the floor. That, hey, you can fly now. You can fly. I'm giving you the power to fly. And the red guy said, no, you cannot fly. This power is not enough for you to fly. Okay? This power is not what? It's not enough for you to fly. So go back home. And then because the power is not enough, what happened? The guy returned home as a red candle, going back downwards. And the support says, I say you should go back. Okay, no problem. As you're coming now, let me give you more power. So this guy comes down to gather more power. And what happens? See what happens next? Next thing is, it goes up this time around as a blue candle again. But this time around, what happens? It comes, this guy tries to stop it. It breaks this guy. Said, hey, I got more power than you now, so I can break you. So this is called break. I want you to note. This is called what? Break. Break means a time a particular candle breaks a resistance or support. But this time around, we are using a resistance. I mean, we are talking about upward trend. We'll talk about it when it's coming down also. Okay? So when it's an upward trend, a break happens at a resistance. Okay? A break happens at a resistance when it's an upward trend. Okay? Majorly happens at the resistance. So now, remember, it could not pass before. Now it has broken that barrier, that ceiling, and then it has passed. We call this one break. So the candle breaks this barrier and is on its way up, and everybody is happy. But guess what happened again? There's another guy waiting again. Now, the moment, okay, sorry. Now, the moment this guy breaks this red one now, the moment he breaks this red one turns to what we call support. Any time that is being broken is now a support. So remember, it's like a war. When if whoever wins turns the other one. Do you get? So remember when this guy was going up as a blue, the first time it was going up as a blue. Let me take you back a bit. Sorry, I'm not trying to take your time. I just want to be sure that you understand. Remember, stage one, this guy was a blue candle going up. And when it got to this side, what happened? Because it doesn't have enough power, this guy, which is the resistance, stopped the blue from going up, converted, because the resistance won the war at this time. The resistance won the war, won this blue candle, and converted the blue candle to red candle because it won at that time, right? So yes, on every time frame, yes. So I'm just using any time frame, yes. So now, when this guy becomes the red, what happens? Because it has won this guy, it turned this guy to red and sent it back home. But when this guy got back home, support said, no, you have to go back. Support turned it back to blue. And this time around, he's more powerful. He's on his way up now. So when he got to the top, this guy tried to stop it again. But this time around, the blue candle won this guy over and broke it. The moment it breaks, it turns this guy to what? To support. Just like this guy turned it the other time. So this guy becomes a support. So what happens here now? This guy is on his way up. Remember, the blue guy is on his way up. On his way up, there's another red guy waiting, which is another ceiling. Waiting this time around, more powerful than this other one. And this one now send it backward again. Now, guys, listen, remember the first stage was a break, right? This is a break. It started with a break, right? It broke, right? Remember a break. This time around, as soon as it touches this guy, the red guy, what happens here? It touches this red guy. This red guy, because it's more powerful, he send it back down again as a red guy. He tells the candidate, hey, go down. You can't pass through. You don't have enough strength. Okay? In this sense, you don't have enough liquidity, enough money to pass through. This price is going too high. We are stopping this price from going high. Go back down. So when this comes back down, this is called a retest. This is where you talk about a retest. What is a retest? Any particular zone that you have broken and you're your way up, and then you are sent back again to that zone. Coming back to it is now called a retest. You are coming back to retest this zone. And when a retest happens, remember this guy now is now a support. He's no more a red guy. So what does he do? He gives power to this red again, more power than before. And what happened again? It turns blue. From red again, it turns blue. And he has enough power to break this guy again. This is another break. And that's how it goes. Keeps break and retest. And what happened again? There's another red guy. There's another red guy. And when that red guy happens, okay, it turns red, comes to retest. And what happened this time around? Remember, any break, this one becomes green, send it back as a blue, break again. So what do we have here? So let me name it. So this one is what? This one is what? Break. Letter B, break. Okay? And then what this one, this red one called? This red one is called retest. Retest. R, retest. This one is called break. This one is called retest. This one is called break. The next one is called retest. Hope you understand what a retest is now. Break and retest based on uptrend. If you understand break and retest based on uptrend, can I see you put a 1 in the chat box? If you understand break and retest, put a 1 in the chat box. Okay, you're asking the definition of a retest. It is shown now. I'm showing you already. A retest means any zone that has been broken before, okay, and then the candle come back to touch it again. That is called a retest. Just like you are coming to retake an exam. You are coming to repeat something, a repeated action. A place you have visited before and left, you now come back to touch it before going again. It's called a retest. So if you understand the retest, please, can I see a 1 in the chat box, please? Put a 1 in the chat box if you understand. Good, fantastic. So fantastic. So we can move on now. Now, remember, this is what? For an uptrend. This is retest for an uptrend. I hope you are all jotting, right? This is retest for an uptrend. Okay? Uptrend, which means a buying market, a bullish market. You can name it different names we have for it. A buying market, a bullish market. Okay? Just give it any name, okay? I mean, not any name. I mean, that's names. I'm just saying you can choose between bullish, uptrend, or buying market. So this is what a break and retest means when it comes to buy market. Now let's talk about break and retest when it comes to a selling market. What is a selling market now? A selling market is when the first currency is weaker. Okay? When the first currency is weaker. So how does it happen with the selling market? So it's the same concept, but in the opposite way. Okay? So for a selling market, start from the top. Remember, I told you that the red candle opens at the top and closes at the bottom, right? While the blue candle opens at the bottom and closes at the top. So now this is how it happens for a down market, a downtrend, a selling market, or a bearish market. We all know that one. We should know that one. Those are basics, right? Now the candle starts with a red candle on its way down. Now, why is it a red candle? Because there is a resistance, there's a ceiling that is sending it downwards. That guy, you have to go down for me today. This price, we are taking it down. Okay. Now, on his way down, what happens? There's a guy who is a support. The floor says you can't pass through me. I'm a floor, and this is where you stop. You're supposed to go up. So because this guy wasn't powerful enough, what happens? Remember the drill now, this time around, but the opposite side. What happens? It goes, send it back up. Send it back up. Okay? When you send it back up, this time around, this guy will now give it more power and send it downwards again. And this time around, it will break this floor that stopped it from the first time. Remember the word break. That's the first thing, break. Remember I was talking about break and retest. Now it broke these zones. That broke that green zone. The moment it breaks, what happens? This green zone becomes a red zone for it. So it's on his way down now. It's on his way down now. On his way down, another guy comes again and said, hey, sorry, that's a mistake. Another guy comes down and said, hey, that's another green zone. Green guy stopped here and said, hey. I mean, you have to stop. This is where you stop. I need you to go back up. So what happens? This time around, it turns blue again and it wants to go up because it has sent it back up. Now, this one is called a retest. But remember the drill. The drill is any zone that has been broken changes. So now this guy on his way up now, this one is called the retest. He's going to retest. Remember, this is the break. It breaks this one, go down, this one send it back to retest this guy again. After retesting this guy this one gives it more power and send it backwards. And when he send it backwards, he has more power to break this zone. And then what happens? Another one comes to stop it. And when he stop it, what does it do to it? He send it back again for a retest. So when it's going back up, it's going back as a blue again to retest this zone. And after retest, it gets more power from this retest. And what happens? It comes as red and break again. So the same process is being repeated, but downward trend now. So what happens? When a downward trend happens, a break happens here, a retest happens here, a break happens here. I want you to be jotting this thing, okay? There's a reason I'm doing all of this, because to help us where we are going. A retest happens here, a break happens here, then a retest continues like that. So that's break and retest. If you understand the break and retest based on the downtrend, can you put 3 in the chat box? 3 in the chat box. 3 in the chat box. You understand the break and retest? Good. Now I want to give you so called legends. What is the legend of this whole story? The legend is good. I want you to hold on to this now. The legend is on a downtrend. I want you to write now. Let's write on an uptrend. Let's start with the uptrend. On an uptrend. Sorry, my brother, you can't have a recording while the seminar is on now. Is it not after the seminar you get a recording? Calm down. All right. So on an uptrend, okay, on an uptrend, a retest has not happened until you see a red candle. So when it comes to an uptrend, it's the red candle that is used for a retest. I want you to write that. So on an uptrend, a red candle represents the retest candle. I'll tell you why I'm telling you this now. On an uptrend, a red candle represents the retest candle, while on a downtrend, a blue candle represents the retest candle. If you got that, put a 2 in the chat box again. If you got that, let me know so I can whether to repeat again or so. If you understand that, I mean, if you get that in writing, put it in writing. You understand later. Put a 2 in the chat box. On a downtrend, sorry, on an uptrend, the red candle is the retest candle. While on the downtrend, the blue candle is the retest candle. So until you see a blue candle on a downtrend, you have not seen a retest. So when you see a blue candle is when you have seen a retest. That's the retest candle. And I'll tell you why I'm explaining this later on, okay? The same thing on a downtrend, the blue candle is the retest candle. So you need to know that. I think with this one, we can go straight to charting system right now. All right? So gladly we go into the charting system. Okay, let me share my screen this time around. I hope you've written all of these things because if you write them, it will help you to follow through easily. So I'm using a BTC USD chart. Normally we don't trade this on binary, right? But we just want to use it so you understand what the charting system is. Okay. Now, this is this is your trading view. Now on the trading view, as you can see, this one is the blue candle is represented in green here. So it's green and red. So the red candle is red. Everywhere is always red. At least most times, red everywhere. Right. So the red candle, remember, is the candle that is talking about down from this. So the candle, remember I said the red candle start from the top, right? Start from the top, open from the top, and closes at the bottom. Let me quickly let me remind you of all the things I talked about before we go into it so you understand now. So you see, let me tell you the journey that happened here. So this red candle started from here, started open from here. I'm talking about this particular one. Okay, let me use the last red candle. Let me use this candle so you understand. Follow this the ruler that I'm using now. Can you follow this ruler? Look at the candle I'm on now. Now this candle. So it started from here. Okay, this candle started from here, and when it started, what happened? Instead of coming down, it went up as a blue candle, as if it's going up. When it got to this point, I mean, within the 5 minutes, when it got to this point, what happened? Started coming down. Now, when it got to this point again, and past this point, it became a red candle, started coming down, and it went as low as this. Now, I want you to understand the journey. Let me use this again. This candle opened from here. Remember, the red candle starts from the top, always open from the top, right? Open from here. Instead of coming down, it went as high as this. I want you to recognize that word. I said high, letter H. It went as high as this. And later came down to the open area and now started coming down and went as low as this. Recognize the word low, L. But what happened again? On his way up again, started going up again and left this low, started going up on his way up. What happened? As it was going up, the 5 minutes ended here and stopped the candle. The whole procedure stopped here. Hope you understand. So if you're going to talk about this now, you say the highest price was 18,989, as you can see here. The candle opens at 18,973. It went as low as 18,849, but closes at 18,897. Now, guys, everything I've just said here now, if I put my ruler on this, guys, look at this. I want you to look at something now. I'm putting my ruler on this. Can you see it? Now, as I put my ruler on this, if you come to this top here, how can I point this? Okay, yeah. Let me use my annotation too. Oh, sorry. I want you to look at what I'm saying. Though you don't need this, it's just an added information. Don't let me confuse you, okay? I just want to buttress what I said before. Look at this. Can you see it now? Can you see this information? O, open price. Meaning the price started from 18,973. It went as high as what? 18,989. Went as low as 18,850. Closes at 18,898. That's what the high and low I talked about before. But that's not needed now. Just want you to know, just an added information. So now, quickly, let's look at this trend. Okay? This is how many minutes, first of all. Let me change the timing. I want to put it to, let's say 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Guys, so this is talking about 1 hour interval. I mean, the transaction within 1 hour. We want to check the transaction within 1 hour. Okay. So if you look at this is a downtrend. Okay, this is a downtrend now, which means it's coming down. Let me prove it to you. How do you know it's a downtrend? It's so simple to know. I want to show you so you know it's a downtrend. Sorry, 1 minute. But normally, when the market opens, I mean the forex market opens, it's easy to know because on our market trap it tells you already whether it's a downtrend or not. Okay. What am I doing? Sorry. All right. So this is what we call trend line now. So look at it. So this is the downtrend. Can you see it now? It's a downtrend. It's coming down. Okay. All right. So if it's coming down, now I want you to note this. Now this is where you start writing. So when it comes to charting system, if you want to chart, you want to draw your lines and do the charting. Okay. When is a downtrend, what do? You target the floor. I mean, when I say floor, I'm talking about a floor that has been broken. Remember when I did the break and retest? Remember when I did the break and retest, right? I showed you a support. That was a support that will be broken downwards. And then became resistance. Then another support, which is floor, broken downwards. So I'll show you what I mean now. This is what you should just do. It's simple. Just do what I want. What I'm going to do now is what you should do when you get here. So anytime you are trading, the first thing you do is you go to daily. Okay. Sorry, not 1 hour. You go to daily. Start with a daily. Okay. First, you know the trend. The first thing you do is you know the trend. And we all know how to do that. You know the trend. Of course, after going to the news, you check the news, you check the trend, the currency trend meter, which is the trend. Okay. And then, of course, that helps you to know the trend. So, but this is BTC. That's why I'm not using all those, what's it called? But that will be easy, of course, when we start, when the market opens, okay? It will be easier to know, okay? But all you need to do is step. I want you to write it down. The first thing, of course, you check the news. We all know that by now. For those of us who have been using market trap, check the news. Any currency in the news, you don't touch them. Don't go near those ones. Second thing is you check the currency trend meter. When you see the currency trend meter, what are you looking for? You are looking for a trend that have a strong point, and one that has a weak one, you trade them against themselves. So depending on which one is stronger, if it's the first currency that is stronger, it becomes an uptrend. If it's the first currency that is weaker, it becomes a downtrend. So we're using BTC USD because the market for forex has not opened. So as for now, BTC is weaker, USD is stronger. That is why this is a downtrend. Okay. So when you have first thing you do is you go to a daily, go to 1 day chart, a daily chart. Okay. When you get to the daily chart, you zoom the price line. I mean, you zoom the candle, you zoom your chart so you see everything clearly. You see, you enlarge it. I mean, like you are zooming in, you enlarge it. See what I'm doing now? Now, you pick your horizontal line. Now, all of these things are things by now at this level, most of us should know. I don't want to go into what's an horizontal line and all that. So you pick your horizontal line. What do you target? You target the wick and that's the lower wick. Okay. Remember, we are looking at the floor. Okay. You target the lower wick and the lower body. The lower what? The lower wick and the lower body of these candles. Which candles? The present and the previous candle. Now it's kind of dicey, right? Now you see what I'm saying. So let's go to the present candle. Which one is the present candle? This is the present candle. Can you see the ruler? Okay. So what do? This is the wick. Look at the lowest wick now. Okay. Can we see it? You place this line. Now, when you play this line, the first thing I always do is I like to color code my lines so I will know which line I'm dealing with. So for 1 day, I like to use black. Most times, I like to use black for 1 day. Now, but before I finally agree, this is the point. You have to zoom this in. You have to enlarge it. See what I'm saying now? Remember, I'm targeting the week, but you see that it's far from the week. Now, this is to tell some of us that are already using this technical. I have some of my people here that are using this technical. They will tell you that, oh, I've done my technical, but I'm having different prices. The reason is simple. You see, when you don't enlarge it or you don't zoom in, you don't have the exact point. You understand? You don't have the exact point. So look at it now. Look at it. Doing the exact point to have the line on the exact point of this week of the present candle. Hope you're understanding what I'm doing now. Of the present candle. In fact, if you want to still do more, you can still keep on enlarging. But I think I've gotten it now. If you can see. So this is on a daily candle now. Now, what is the next thing? I will target the next place, the lower body. This is the lower week, right? The lower body. So how do I do that? I will what? I will clone. I mean, for those of you who know how to use your trading view, clone. Clone means you double this line. Okay. You now bring this one up to the lower body. Okay. Remember, this is a moving candle, right? Just do it at that point and you leave it. Okay. Then you go to the next one. The next one you go to is the previous candle. Where is the previous candle? Can we see the previous candle? Look at the previous candle. Let me use annotation. So, it's difficult when I'm using the. Okay, yeah. All right. So this is the previous candle. This is the present candle. This is the previous candle. Okay. So I'm targeting. Now I've done the lower body of the present candle and the lower wick of the present candle. Okay. Don't worry about the movement. Just let it be like that. But focus on the previous candle. Okay. Now let's look at the previous candle. Remember, I'm using a black line. Okay. Now I clone again. So I target the lower body. Let me start from the lower wick, so I won't destroy the other. The lower wick, okay. The lower wick. Now, remember, you have to make sure that it's on the exact point, so you won't have a different price line. As you can see now, it's there already. The lower wick, and what is next? The lower body. I want you to write that down in your notes. Lower wick, lower body for a downtrend. Lower wick, lower body for a downtrend. If possible, use it as a point. Be singing it. Lower wick, lower body on a downtrend. I'm just joking. But anyway, whatever it is that makes you not to forget, do it. It doesn't matter. We're talking about real money here, right? Whatever will make you understand and never forget, if that's what it will take, if for you to sing about it or dance to it is what you need, do it, please. Don't mind anything or anyone. All right? Okay. Now, I'm on the lower body. I'm on the lower body. I'm on the lower body. Okay. Now, that is done. So what next? What next, guys? You move to 1 hour. 1 hour. What are you doing in 1 hour? You are doing the same thing. The same thing you did. And what was that? Lower body, lower wick. Lower body, lower wick. Okay. Sorry. But this time around, I like to change the color. I use blue. I'll tell you why I like to use different color for them so I will understand which zone. I'll tell you. Now, what is it again? Lower wick, lower body. So I start from the present candle. Okay. This is the lower wick. Am I sure? I need to be sure. So how do I be sure of this? Remember, you zoom in or you enlarge the chart and then you get the exact point. Okay. The exact point. All right. So what do? You clone. And when you clone, what does that mean? Okay. All right. So I'm done with that. Now I go to the present candle. Don't worry about this. I'll tell you why you should not worry about it. Okay. I mean, don't worry about the present candle moving up and down. Don't worry about it. You'll see why you should not worry about it. Now, the previous candle, you bring it to the body, and then, I mean, the lower body, and then what happens? What do you do next again? You bring to the lower wick of the previous candle. This is the lower wick of the previous candle. That is done also. Let me see if I'm right about that. Oh, okay. Can you imagine? Um, 1 hour. Okay. See, can you imagine? That's the blue. Sorry, guys. Okay. This is the lower week of the previous candle. The lower week of the previous candle. Yes, the lower week of the previous candle. And this is the lower week of the present candle. Okay. Okay. And then this is the lower body of the previous candle. Lower body of the previous candle. Sorry, I'm trying to get the accuracy, okay? All right. Sorry, guys, I'm using a phone, so it's very tough. All right, so let's go to the last one, 15 minutes. I mean, the last place we're going to do your chatting. Do you see that it's the same thing we are doing? It's the same thing, but just on a different time frame. Now, this time around, we are doing it on 15 minutes. So I clone, but I like to change the color. I choose orange. So what do I target now on 15 minutes? Now, do you notice something on 15 minutes is this? On 15 minutes, the week is the same of the present candle, okay? The week of the previous candle is the same. The body is the same, okay? But you know what I'll do? I like to still place it, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you need to place it, even if it's the same. Remember, there are two things I said I'll tell you now. Okay? There are two things I said I'll tell you. Why the present candle, the body doesn't matter. Why you are chatting, just place it on the first place you see. And then the second thing is, the second thing is when you have the week and the body of two time frames being on the same side, just place them like that. So you know that there are two of them. Okay. So I do this like this. Aha. Okay. This one also, that is. Okay. Now for the body of the present candle, I'll just choose this zone. And then what happens? Now I go to the last part, which is the 5 minutes. I want you to see something. Okay. Remember, this is Bitcoin. The volatility is different. So that's why the movement. Now, quickly, I want us to look at this. Now, this is what I've done so far. Remember, we are looking at the downtrend, right? Now, first of all, remember I told you that the first candle, as in the first candle, the body of the first candle does not really matter. Now, why did I say so? Because the present candle is the moving candle. So if it's the moving candle, you can't ascertain the level it will get to until it has closed and a new one has formed. And when a new one is formed, this new candle does not represent the zones which will be retraced. You understand? We are looking at what has happened in the past to repeat itself again. Do you get? So that is why this one is not really important, as in trying to get the body. Okay. Now, the second thing is I said when you have two zones together, always put them. Do you know why? It helps you to know the strongest zone. Anytime you're having 15 minutes and 1 hour coming together in the same zone, they're always strong zone. You understand? So that's why it's good to just put it so you leave them as a zone and then you watch out for them. Okay. Remember, the 1 hour is blue, while the orange is the 15 minutes. Now, let's come to our charting system. The first thing you need to know is how to do this line. Lower bottom, lower body of the previous and the present candle. Lower bottom, lower body of the previous and present candle. For what? For 1 day, for 1 hour, for 15 minutes. Then you come to 15 minutes, 5 minutes to check it out. Now, when you come to 5 minutes, what do you want to see? Now you want to see this movement. I want us to look at it together. Let me bring out the annotation. Do you notice that? Let's start from here. See this candle? What did this candle do here? It broke this line, right? It broke this line, came down, isn't it? When it came down, what happened again? There's a line, red line that started again from the here and then went up. Later came down, but it's red. But this one now, this green candle is a candle that went up to retest another line. Do you get what I'm saying? So remember, I said on the downtrend, the blue candle or the green candle is the retest candle. So this one has gone up now to create another level at the top. Now, sorry, I'm coming. So what you do is, if you are trading this chart now, you don't take any trade for a downtrend until the levels you have drawn, all these levels you have drawn, have come to be tested. And after they've been tested, you wait for them to come down before you take a down, before you take your move. I mean, before you take your trade for a downtrend. Do you get? So now, right now, none of this level, let's see the ones that have been tested in the past. Let's just see. Has any one of these levels have been tested? Okay, look at these ones now. All these ones have not been tested yet, but here there was a test here. So which means if I'm the one doing this trade now, I will create a new line at this top. You understand? I'll put a new line at this top. Do you know why? So when you put a new line at this top, you see that it has become a new zone. But all these other ones, you wait for them. You don't take any trade for now until a green candle comes to touch this one like this and stop there and closes around this area and then make his way down. Then you now take it for a down movement. Okay? I mean, that's when you take the trade. But remember, there are rules that we follow. When this line is touched, you wait for the time. Remember the timing rule, right? Like now it's 10:13. So remember the o'clock, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then o'clock. Like that again. But so you wait for the time and then you wait for your zone. Those are the two things. You wait for the time, you wait for your zone. What are zones? All these lines you see here are your zones. But the best of the zones are zones that have double lines like this, which is as 15 minutes and 1 hour candle. These are the best. So if I'm trading like this, I use 1% of my trade on all these other zones, but I use 3% of my money, of my funds, on these zones that have double lines. Okay. So to really understand this thing, what you need to know that is the most important to you, first of all, is what? Know that when it's a downtrend, you trade the floor. Okay? You focus on the floor. Oops. Let me see. 1 minute, I'm coming. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my screen is. Let me share the screen again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when it's a downtrend, you focus on the floor. And what was the floor? I mean, the lower wick, the lower body. The lower wick, that's the lower wick, the lower body. So you do it for what? For 1 day, 1 hour, 15 minutes. And then you do it, when after doing that, you come to 5 minutes to wait and see them, the candles or the market coming to those zones. And what are zones? All these lines that you draw are called zones. Okay? Now remember, this is Bitcoin. Now, how you trade Bitcoin is different. You can't use Bitcoin for binary. I mean, Bitcoin is not used for 5 minutes, like, that is why this movement is very fast. The volatility. Okay. Let me check if the real market, I mean, the Forex market is up. Let me check if the Forex market is up. So you understand better. USJPY. Can ask your question in the chat box. I'll come and be checking. Okay. Okay. I think the market is open a bit. All right, guys, let's use this. Okay, let's use this. The market is open partially. But before I go on, let me check if any of you have any question. Any question you have, put it in the chat box, okay? Now, quickly, let's do this since the market is open. So remember what you do. What do? You go to the currency strength meter. Okay. Sorry, you go to the news. Today is I mean, when we say today, we know today is Sunday still, but Monday market has already opened, especially in Sydney, Australia, and all that. Yes. So you go to the news, okay? I want us to do it like normal trading, okay? But now we can't go to Liberty because the market is just, so we just do it on the trading view, just for you to see how you do the chart. Today's date is 20. Okay, I mean Monday will be 27. I said today, 27 or 26. Okay. So what you do is you go to the news to check. But right now, remember, we are still in. Today's I think we're still in Sunday. Today is Sunday, right? So, but this is what you do normally. You check the news. Any currency that is in the news, you don't take it, right? So after the news, what do? You go to the currency strength meter. Okay, you go to the currency strength meter. Then you check the one that is okay. Let's look at GBP and USD. GBP, as you can see, GBP is. Let me show you. This is GBP. Can you see the full bar? It's stronger, right? What about USD? USD is what? Is weaker. So let's look at GBP USD on our trading view. Okay, like I told you, see what is happening now because the market is partially open, but let's just use it like that. It's okay. Let's check how it looks one day. Can we really use this? Don't mind me, I've done some charting here before. As you can see, it's a downtrend, right? I don't know if I can use this one. Can't use this. The market is still warming up. Look at what is happening. See why I cannot use it. There's a gap, okay, in the market, and for newbies, because of the most of you are new, you won't understand this. That's why I don't want you to come to be confused. Look at this. Can you see the separation there? All right, let's just go on. Don't worry. Let's just use it for time's sake. So remember the rules. Let me delete all these ones. All right. So we're on daily now. Remember the rules, right? This will give a lot of issue, but let me check for another. Let me check for another currency. That gap will cause issue there. Euro USD. Let's check Euro USD. Euro USD. Euro USD. Okay, this is better. All right. So let's look at Euro USD. Now, based on the strength, all right. So based on the strength of the Euro USD, you know that this is a downtrend, right? So guys, I want us to pay attention. This is another opportunity, okay, to learn again. All right. So remember the drill. What's the drill again? What's the drill again? The present candle, lower wick, lower wick, and then lower body. Then the previous candle, which is the candle before the present one, lower wick. Remember, I use black for my 1 day for daily, right? Okay, remaining the lower body of the previous candle. All right, next one we'll go is 1 hour. 1 hour. What do you do again? Remember, change the color so at least you will understand the difference. I use this blue. Now what do you do? Come to the lower wick of the previous candle. Lower wick of the previous candle. So this one is good because it has the same as the the lower body is the same as the lower body for 1 day is the same as lower body for 1 hour. Okay, and also the lower wick for the present candle is the same as 1 hour. Okay, so we are done with 1 hour and 15 minutes. I mean 1 hour and 1 day. So let's go to 15 minutes. On 15 minutes, what do? You clone, change it to I change to orange, lower wick of the present candle, and the lower body. That's for it. No, we are still running on the downtrend, right? The uptrend is different, right? Okay. And if you check this one also, take the trade. Come to the lower body of the previous. This is the previous candle, and the lower wick of the previous candle. Almost the same, like so the same. Now what do? You go to 5 minutes. Sorry, 5 minutes. What's that? It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So guys, as you can see, look at what happened here. I want you to focus on this, the red line I'll be using, the annotation, okay? So if you are taking this trade now, what do? Look at what has happened here. This guy has come to test this zone. And what happened after that? Sold. So which means if you are taking this for 5 minutes, you will have cleared, right? So what is happening right now? Right now, this one has come to touch this zone. And how many minutes do we have left? Oh, the market is still diddling. So meaning this could happen at 10:30. Guys, can you see it now? This is a retest. Look at this one was a retest. So remember the drill for the downtrend. I said it will come down and break. It broke these zones. After breaking these zones, what happened? It came back to retest this one. And I said the retest has not happened except the opposite candle comes up, right? This is the opposite one because it's supposed to be going down. So it came up again to retest this zone that it has broken before. So this retest happen is sold for 5 minutes, cleared. Now, right now, another retest is happening here. Okay. So you don't know what is going to happen until you wait for the candle to close and you wait for the time. This is 10:25. You wait for 10:30. At 10:30, you understand? This may sold downwards here as the next zone. Hope you understand. Okay. If you understand at that point, but before I even ask you this question, let's go to the past again and check and show you other ones so you understand better. Okay. Now let's look at it. Look at this also. Can you see it? On his way up, let's talk about this one. So on his way down, can you see it now? It broke this zone, came down. And what happened after that? A green candle came to retest. And then what happened after that? Came down. What happened after that? A green candle came to retest this one also. What happened after that one? It came down. And then it goes up, and then retests, and then goes up. So uptrend here. And then what happened? Started coming down again. Started coming down. Do you see that all those particular zones are the zones that is respecting? Guys, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Let me give an instance. I want you to see something now. See. On his way down here, look at this. Just follow the red annotation I'm using. Look at this candle. It came down and broke this line, right? But after breaking this line, what did it do? There's a green candle that came to touch this line and then came down again. Then another green candle came to touch this line. And then came down. Now, if you notice on his way up, what happened again on his way up? This same line. What happened on this same line? This candle touched this line and then push it up, touch this line and then push it up, stand on this line as support and then push it up. Then what happened again on his way down? Push it, broke it down, and what happened? Touch it here and came down. Then it's touching again. You see it now, remaining 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 16 seconds for this candle to finish. So which means this candle may be coming here. And then will now come down again. Let me see if you have an understanding of this one. Can I see you just put a 7 in the chat box, please? Put a 7 in the chat box. If you understand this downtrend and the concept, put a 7 in the chat box. If you understand the break and retest I just showed you, put a 7 in the chat box. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, good. So remember, for those of you, good. So this is what we say. Does the retest candle have to close on the exact line or zone for it to retest the zone? Yes. Is it that it closes on that around that line? I mean, when I say around, it's not, it shouldn't be far from there, or maybe the wick. It can wick a bit above it, but if it closes below that line, it must close below that line or on that line. Okay? It must close below that line or on that line for you to know that that zone has been tested. If it doesn't close on that line or below that line, then it has not tested. And when I say below, meaning it's touching that line or the wick is touching that line. Okay? That's to answer your question. Now let's talk about the uptrend. Let's look at uptrend quickly, and then we'll round up for the night. We answer questions and all that. But remember, the market has opened, so just give it some few hours from now, maybe like 12, 1 a.m. Can start targeting your 5%. I mean, for those of you who already get the drill. So let's look at an uptrend. Let's get an example of an uptrend. Okay, uptrend. Oh my God, guys, forgive me, pardon me. Euro USD was an uptrend. And none of you even told me this. Nobody's following. Wait, guys, none of you even told me this, right? You know, USD is supposed to, let me see. Okay, it's a downtrend. Sorry, the downtrend. We see that's the problem with the market. So it's about going up now. It's about going up, but it was a downtrend but normally based on this trend, it's supposed to be an uptrend, right? But because the market is just opening, you see now, they're already showing, so this one is coming down already. So anything you are seeing now is abracadabra, it's not real because the market is just opening up, okay? But let's just look for anything downtrend, okay? I mean uptrend. Let's look for uptrend. Let's look for uptrend. What's wrong with TradingView? Let's just do one more, just uptrend, and then we move from there. What is wrong with you, TradingView? Okay. All right. So let me look for any pair that is uptrend. Let me look for AUDJPY. Please uptrend. Okay, good. Let's use this, guys. Let's use this. Or let me just look for. It's actually a downtrend, but let me look for where it is that uptrend. Okay. The market is not open, so we have to. Sorry, we have to. What's that one again? Let me go to 1 day. Let's just look for anything, anytime that is up. So we can quickly do the uptrend example of an uptrend. How you trade an uptrend. Okay. Remember, we've been doing downtrend. Okay, this is one. So this is an uptrend now. Okay. These are uptrends. Let's go and check on the 5 minutes. Oh, on the 5 minutes is a downtrend. Okay, let me check over there. I can't find a very 1 minute. Let's just see. Okay, let's try odd. Let's try Euro odd. The market is not ready. That's why we're having this issue. Don't mind me. We forex trader, we always have chat lines and chat already. These are areas where we have eaten money before. So keep showing. All right. Oh, what do we do now? All the markets are downtrends. And I don't want to use BTC because that will get confused. Because BTC market is different from forex market. Let me check Euro USD again. Also downtrend. Okay, don't worry. Let's just do this. Don't worry. Let me just give you an example of this on the 5 minutes. Okay. These are uptrends. Let us do it here. Okay. But whatever I want to show you now, I just want to show you how to chart the charting system, how to do the charting of an uptrend. Okay. So let's assume this is where the candle is right now. Guys, I hope you are there. So for an uptrend, what do you do? Unlike downtrend, you target the ceiling. The ceiling. Okay. So this is what you do. On a daily, you come and pick your horizontal line. Now, what do you do with horizontal line? The present candle. Can you see what I'm doing? The present candle. You take the upper wick, then the upper body. Remember, for the downtrend, lower wick, lower body. This one is upper wick, upper body of the present candle. Then what do you do again? You check the upper wick and upper body of the previous candle. So I've gotten the upper wick. Now I'm getting the upper body. This is the upper body. All right. So you go to what? Next thing you go to the 1 hour. 1 hour. Oof. Wow. Guys, this is really tough. You know what we'll do? Let's just improvise. Don't worry. Let's just improvise. Okay. Let's just improvise. So all you need to know about the uptrend is what you target the upper wick and the upper body. I think we won't be able to do the 4 time frames because we're just picking any part of it that is bullish, so we can see that is uptrend, so we can see. Now let me just ask you, based on that, at least using the downtrend, hope you can understand the uptrend as well. Please, if you can understand this concept, if you understand this concept, I mean the charting concept. And what's the charting concept again? For a downtrend, the lower wick and the lower body of the present candle and the previous candle. For an uptrend, the upper wick and the upper body of the present candle and the lower candle. Please, can you put a B in the chat box? Put a B, letter B in the chat box. Okay? Put the letter B in the chat box. All right. Now, yeah, if you do understand. Now, for those of you who have questions, this is the time to ask any question at all you have. Okay? Because one thing I would like to tell you is this. Sometimes the sun is funny. Making money is not something that you get just by maybe by deserving, like I deserve because I've paid a subscription or so. It's something you work for. It's not easy, right? You have to work for it. Okay. For example, when we started this call, we are 35. The question is, where is about 12 persons? Where are they? Now, this is the difference between those who make money and those who don't. And that's why for me, I don't feel for those who don't make money. Because I know 90% of the time is their own personal attitude towards learning. You understand? Now you see some people, what they want to do, like I have some people who tell me, oh, no problem. Coach, anytime you are just trading, just send me signal. Signal. There was a time I used to have some people like that. They will tell you, coach, all they want to say is it put or call? The question is, how long do you want to do that? I mean, when you know this, it helps you. Now, if you don't understand, it's another thing. You can always ask and they will continue. We can explain 1 million times, doesn't matter in different ways. But when you pay attention and you learn and you practice, you will master. When you master, you move forward. You get. So this is why it's important. Okay. Now, unfortunately, the time we're taking this trade, I mean, the training, of course, the market is not what it's supposed to be. Yeah, that may be a little dicey, but at least the concept is what matters because we're trying to make it as simple as possible. The concept of all of this is for the downtrend, take the lower body, the lower wick of the present and the previous candle. For an uptrend, take the upper wick and the upper body. Now, this is stage 2. But you know what? Stage 3, because I don't want to add stage 3. If I add stage 3 to this, it will be very fun, but just that it will be too cumbersome for those who don't know about trade, I mean, about technical part before now. The stage 3 is talking about price action. And that one is as easy as anything, though, but just that it will be complicating for anybody who is not familiar with technicals. So the idea of this is learning how to use the market trap and this together. How do you use both? Let me tell you. Simple. The moment you draw these lines and you go, so the moment you finish drawing these lines, you write out the zones, the prices, okay? And you focus on there's something I want you to look at now when it comes to price action technical. Okay, let me show you something. This is a bit advanced, but let me just show you, okay? Let me just show you. If you look at all these lines, if you look at all these lines, you can determine the one you will bank your 3% on easily. And how do you know? The one that has had more activities in the past. You understand? One that had more activities. When I say activities, the one that have been used as a resistance, like this one. Now look at it, has been used as a resistance before. Okay, it has also been used as a support before. Do you get? Look at it. Let me show you. I said, look at it. I'm not even pointing. Let me point it for you with the red, with the annotation. See what I'm saying, guys? I want you to focus on this. Look at this side. Can you see this line? See this line? Do you know it was a resistance here before, right? But do you know that this line here was a support? Are we together? So also here, look at it as a support. This line here was a support here, right? But look at it, it was a resistance. These kind of lines are good to wait for your zone. But now, how do you now use confirm? So you look at this price, 397. What do? You go to your market trap, okay? You go and put your horizontal line on the market trap. When the price comes there, number one, most times you will see the RSI and stochastic touching the red zone for a downward trend. And then you'll see the score showing you 4 and above. And that's your zone. And let me tell you the sweet thing about this thing. When you have these zones, you are guaranteed of at least 95% success. Imagine you have 3 of that in a day, you have done your 5%. So it's not better to focus to learn how to get a precise zone to take a trade that will give you your win and give you your 5% on a daily basis, and you have rest of mind. At the end of 90 days, you are rich already. You understand what I'm saying? That is why I like you to put in more effort in learning this. I mean, you can watch the videos again, and other coaches are taking the same thing over and over. You can watch different videos on this, and you learn more. And even if you don't understand all of that, you can ask questions any day, anytime from any one of us. I'll be willing to assist you. So with that, we all move together. Okay. So, like I said, if you have any question, please ask me. In the absence of no question, we can call it a night. And for those of us who already know what we are doing, we should start dusting our accounts for more money because it's Monday around the corner. Are we together? So, any question? Okay. In the absence of no question, we have 23 people on this call. I mean, if you understand this entire training, at least to a level that you can at least try and practice yourself, can you put a fire emoji in the chat box? Put a fire emoji in the chat box. If you understand this particular training to the level where you can practice it yourself, put a fire emoji in the chat box. All right. You know we are 23, right? So it's either you are here or you are there. I need to see if you understand it to the extent where you can take this yourself. Put a fire emoji in the chat box. Yeah, at least I'm excited, you know. Yeah, you know, at least if I can have 70% of you guys, then I'm happy because when you try it, and then we can really evaluate how far we are going. Because see, let me tell you one thing about trading. A line for 5 minutes. How do you mean? A line for 5? No. Okay, yeah, no, you don't need to. You know why? Because that's where you take your trades. That's where you take your entries. You understand? That is where you take your entries. Yes, that's where you take your entries. We don't have line for 5 minutes. That is so that place. So you only have for what? Daily, hourly, and 15 minutes. And guys, let me tell you, hey, I forgot to tell you this. Let me give you this information also. The best zones again. Another thing to know the best zone. Any zone where you see 15 minutes and 1 hour coming together, a confluence of those two is the best zone for you. I mean, when you have 1 hour and 15 minutes coming together, is another best zone for you to take that you should be sure that, oh, this place this one is a done deal. So you can imagine. Let me tell you what happened last week. I can tell you all the trades I took last week, you know, even myself and some of the people on this call that I know. You can imagine only on one pair, you see us going like 9-0, 5-0, 7-0, you know. In fact, someone went that's and I'm not advising that. So nobody should do that. Even that person, I told the person, no, that this is over trading and that's indiscipline. Okay. Someone went 26 times on the trade and had lessons of only 4 lessons, 122 out of 26. Can you imagine that? 22 out of 26. You understand? That's too much, you know, but at least it's another thing to show you that this strategy is confirmed. For you to go 26 trade and you win 22, you understand? So the only reason why you have lessons in this strategy when you're using strategy is number one,
If you don't zoom out zoom in your screen, or you enlarge your chart to have the exact point for your lines, number one. Number two, if you're not patient enough to follow the instruction of the strategy, there's a difference between technical and strategy. Technical is drawing the lines, but you can't take your trade based on the line alone. You need strategy. What is strategy? Number one, the timing. Number two, RSI stochastic. Number four, everything on market trap is the strategy. Everything on the line drawing is the technical. When you match both together, you have a precision. A precise, what do you call it? Entry. You understand? A precise entry that will give you what you're looking for. Okay. And guys, the question is it worth it? It is way worth it. Because whatever will make you have your 5% every day for the next 90 days is the gateway to your freedom. I'm telling you. And let me tell you one thing again. Forex is liquidity. Forex is about equity. Forex is about money. If you have enough fund in your account, you'll be rich easily in Forex. Now, but there's one clause. The clause is self-discipline. If you have enough money and self-discipline, you'll be very, very super, super, duper, duper rich. These are the things that what would be the problem? What can be a problem is your inability to learn, practice, okay, and then be self-disciplined. If you can do all these ones, I tell you, freedom is yours. And when you know how to do this, then you can recruit a lot of people and teach them the same. Guys, I think at this level, we'll be drawing the curtains. Thank you very much for staying with me. For those of you that stayed to the end, God bless you. Let's go make the money. Monday is around the corner. Let's go make the money. Ciao, guys. Good night.